Another session at Grove Studios in Ypsilanti. And Grove Studios makes this entire thing possible, as they have since October of 2020, when they invited me to do a podcast and said, hey, we need you to bring in some guests. We need you to bring your, John Bommarito from Ann Harbor's 1071 personality to the building and maybe help us drum up some interest in what we're doing here. Grove has been an excellent host for the entire time I've done this. I believe, if I'm counting right, this is number 99 of the podcasts.
What?
I know.
That's
and I got to
fantastic.
verify that it's not 98 and it's not 100. It's one of the three. It's right around there. I've got videos telling me it's one number. I've got a spreadsheet that's telling me it's another number. So
Okay.
I haven't had time to see what's missing in one of the two. So anyway.
Still, congratulations.
Thank you. It's been quite an honor to be here, and it certainly is kind of about time we've done this, because I've been actually asking Rochelle Clark to join me for quite a while. And how can you not bring Jason Dennie along for the ride? Because Jason and Rochelle are not just musical partners, but partners in life as well. And as it turns out, I went back and listened to as many of the things I've done with both of you in the past. And Jason's leading at this point. There have been many Jason visits to the WHFR studios, whereas Rochelle coming with Pottersfield and one solo.
Yeah.
It's like 3 to 5, I think, is the balance. So
All right, Denny.
Hey, I won't
Competition's
apologize.
on now.
it's a throwdown. Well, Rochelle, you were invited originally first because you've got your first headlining gig at the Arc, which is a really big deal.
Yes.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
And I know you're excited too.
I'm really excited about it. I am still kind of pinching myself that we were able to come up with a date that worked for everyone involved.
A rescheduled date, too, if I
A
remember correctly.
rescheduled date, yeah. And almost 3 years to the day.
Oh, wow.
Which is wild.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I went back and I looked, and my original date was February 26th, and this is March 1st. So it's like really
Within,
close,
yeah.
really like within that week. And, it's full circle. And
Life got in the way.
Life got in the way. Yeah. My energy and my focus needed to be pulled to some family matters. And in a strange way, I feel more ready for this show now than I did 3 years ago.
That's good then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've invited you here to sing songs and talk about your life. So let's start with a song to keep people
Sure.
watching
Okay.
and say, hey, he's right. She has a great voice. What would you like to start with? Is it something new finally? Is there a new song?
Actually, yeah, we could start with a new
Please.
song if you'd like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have you switch.
Jason's not ready for a new song.
We'll
Tell me
switch.
about the song while he's grabbing the instrument.
Okay, so this is a new song that came out of it's been a trying time, I think, for all of us. Really, I know. You're shocked. I've been towing this line of trying to stay informed and also not be overwhelmed. And I hit a wall one day where I just couldn't get out of a funk. And I started thinking about what it means to struggle with depression and anxiety, especially when everything around you feels like it's adding to your anxiety and your depression, and how sometimes you can have somebody that is a little bit of a life raft for you. And I'm lucky that I have
I can see a raft from here.
that I have a very supportive life partner. But it could be a friendship. It could be any type of relationship where somebody that knows you enough to kind of get you out of maybe an unhealthy headspace. So
What's the song called?
it's called Blue. Woo, and I'm going to try and play it in tune. Okay, let's give this one a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Morning comes early, it's lonely and it don't shine bright. It takes a little mercy and coffee to set it right.
chest when the throat pulled tight. Now here comes the funny feeling, will I make it out alive? Reaching for sunlight through a heavy sky. You say, baby, it'll be alright. All you need is time. Honey, you pull me from the blue, and you see me for what's true. Like cage closing more and more each day, with words left unspoken, screaming or rattling these chains. Now the darkness closing in, will I make it out alive? Reaching for sunlight through a heavy mind. You say, baby, I'm here for it all, and I won't let you fall. Honey, you pull me from the blue, and you see me for what's true. Rattling round, waiting for my fall from grace. But if there's a heaven, I know I've seen it in your face. It's in the way you love me through my shaking faith.
That is sweet. Rochelle Clark in the studios here at Grove for Acoustic Alternative's brand new song called Blue. I've been waiting for new music for a while.
I know you
Thank you for
have.
sharing it with me. And I'm going to share this with my audience at Sonic Coast, if that's okay. Because
Oh,
I do a
please
radio
do.
show there, as I think you know.
I do,
And
yes.
there are two ways that I can share the music. One of them is the weekday feature called the Acoustic Coffee Break, where they randomly select songs from my catalog here. And then the other is the show I do on Sundays, which has the same name as this at Acoustic Alternatives. And I'm going to play that right away, like
Thank
really
you.
soon.
I would love that. Please do.
To make sure that people know that there's this show coming up that you're really excited about on March 1st.
Thank you. Thank you.
You probably know this because, I mean, who hasn't Googled themselves? But you are not the Rochelle Clark who is the director of advertising for Penguin Random House.
I'm not.
Or the YouTuber, beauty influencer, or the Rochelle Clark superintendent at Decatur Public Schools. It turns out you're the musician, Rochelle Clark.
I'm the
As
the one.
You need the one with the L, Rochelle L. Clark, right? That's the website? Or P.
Rochelle P. Clark.
Yes.
Yes.
It's hard when you have that kind of a name that I didn't realize was common at all.
It's actually not. And it's really wild. When I tried building the website, the domain name for every iteration of Rochelle Clark Music, Rochelle Clark Acoustic was all taken.
What?
By a massage therapist.
She wanted acoustic, apparently?
She I don't know.
That's the new massage technique is the acoustic massage.
I love those kinds, really.
I think part of it is because it is a somewhat unique name that she just bought domains that had every kind of pairing with Rochelle Clark. So Rochelle P. Clark it was.
Good for you. Is it easy for people to remember that? I don't know, but it's all right.
It's all right.
All these years that I've known you and the few interviews that we have done together, times that we've spent having lunch or whatever we've done together, I don't really know that much about your background, which is crazy.
Really?
Where did you grow up?
Livonia.
Livonia, not far from where I lived in my second life. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Livonia.
And were you an only child or do you have?
I'm an only child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What kind of things did Rochelle do as a child in Livonia? Was there favorite activities that you did?
You're going to be really surprised. You should probably find a chair.
There's got to be one around here somewhere.
I
Go
did
ahead.
theater.
What? You?
I
No
know.
way.
Wild.
All the years?
You were not expecting that. Theater and choir were always my thing. I always gravitated to that, even as a kid. I was raised Pentecostal. And so,
that I knew.
Yeah, I was in church a lot as a kid. And the music was always my favorite part of the services.
Go figure. I went to the 5:30 Mass at the Catholic Church down the street because the music was better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes. And in a Pentecostal church, we had kind of loud, raucous worship music, lots of tambourines.
Oh my goodness. Calm down.
I know. So that was a big part of me as little Rochelle, I guess.
You then took the stage as an actress more than a singer, or were they more musicals?
They were musicals a lot of the time, especially when I was in middle school and high school. I did the musical every year and loved it, absolutely loved it. But I also started doing backstage work for the shows that I wasn't cast in and enjoyed that just as much, if not more.
I was stage crew 3 years of my 4 years.
I really loved it. It was fun to feel like you're part of a show, you're part of a community, and to kind of see the whole process of how that got put together, and certainly influenced me in a deep way.
Now, vague recollection, because I have known you a lot of years at this point, but it seemed like in the
and
early...
yet neither of us have aged.
No, not at all. It seems like in the early days of the Potter's Field, you were kind of reluctant to be a front person. I felt like that in your presence.
Very much.
Which doesn't necessarily it doesn't line up with being on stage and being an actress singer. So why the difference when you're acting and that? Just go back to those Potter's Field days when you were kind of like, you obviously had the talent, and that I knew, but it did seem like you didn't want to be the front person.
I think at that time, no, I did not want to be the front person, but I think a lot of it was just finding my confidence and finding my own voice, and maturing not only as a person but as a musician as well. I really value those years that I spent with the Potter's Field, and I wouldn't be here without that. But there was a long time where I felt really inadequate as a singer and as a musician, and I was just like happy to be along for the ride. And so I think, just maturing as a person and as a musician and realizing that I also have things to say and taking it a little more seriously.
your partner in that project, John, how did he find you? Like, how did you guys become a duo? Church?
No, he found me at we found each other at an open mic. I went to an open mic. I was living in Chelsea at the time, and I decided to go to an open mic in downtown Northville because I didn't want to run into anybody that knew me.
That makes sense.
Because I was very shy about singing as well.
You have a gift, right?
But, back to like what you were saying about, what is the difference between being on stage as an actor and singing? When you're in a play, you have a script.
Good point.
Right? So you have a formula. And of course, you add your own influence on that and your own take of a character. But there's something that is there for you. And when you're singing, especially when it's songs that you've written, it's really vulnerable and can reveal more about yourself than I think at that point in time I was ready for. So anyway, I went to this I'm saying that because I went to this open mic because I was so terrified that somebody I knew would walk in and be like, "What are you doing?" And I did a John Prine tune. I did Angel from Montgomery, and that's how we met. Because he did that one too, and he was like, "You have a fantastic voice," and the rest is history. Together, yeah. Actually, we decided to do that song together. He convinced me to come out, I think, the next week, and
well, there it goes. And
it kind of snowballed.
And there was an album, and I think, to my best recollection, the biggest show was opening for Jill Jack at Royal Oak Music Theater. Maybe that's not correct.
That was our largest crowd. Yeah, but we did a couple like small tours, and we were at the Kerrville New Folk Festival.
Oh, I don't know if I remember that.
New song finalists.
Why do I forget that thing? Okay,
that
great.
that was probably
That's a pinnacle.
That was a pinnacle moment.
Because that was your own thing.
Absolutely.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, then in 2020, you stepped out on your own and did finally an EP called In Time.
Yes.
And that unfortunately came out in, what year was that again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Let's talk about timing. So I released that in late January of 2020.
Nothing happened then.
The CD release was in February. And the whole world shut down in March. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Too bad for you. But it's still out there. And
it is.
And we did eventually visit over that EP in a radio studio, and we talked about it. And it's a excellent piece of work that will be followed up by something that might include a song called Blue we just heard.
Yes. Yeah.
What's going on with that? I know you've got a busy life, but can you update me on that? There's
best laid plans and all of that. I absolutely have every intention of getting back into the studio and recording. Life has a way of, when you have plans, redirecting your focus. And the last couple of years have been me really taking a step back from some things and focusing on my family and taking care of my mom. And so everything in due time. I'm really, really coming to terms with that more as I'm getting older, that I have to let go of some of these timelines that I set for myself, because just because it doesn't happen in the exact schedule that I wanted it to happen doesn't mean that it won't happen. And maybe the wait is worth it.
It's going to be.
Yeah. So absolutely, I have every intention of getting into the studio and recording. I don't know when that will be, unfortunately.
Whenever time allows. And money as well.
Money is a big factor in that. But absolutely, that will happen.
Well, can't wait. Look forward to that.
Yeah.
It does seem also that there has been a lot more gigs, solo gigs.
There has been.
Possibly out of necessity, 60 or so last year. Is that what I remember reading somewhere?
Yes.
That's good. That's a good...
It was,
considering you have a full-time job on top of that.
It was wild.
Yeah.
When I did the math on that, I was like, oh.
How did I do that?
How did I? Yes. There was a part of me that was like, oh, I'm impressed with myself. also, wow. Yeah, it was a busy year.
Do you have any favorite gigs from last year that were standouts?
Actually, Jason and I did a duo show together in Ohio toward the end of the year, and that has stood out as one of my favorite, if not my favorite gig of last year.
Was that in the Cincinnati area?
No, it was more, I guess it may have been closer-ish to like Xenia, Dayton, maybe. I can't remember the name of the town now, but beautiful small town, that downtown vibe that looked to be 2 blocks was but just great people and a crowd that was enthusiastic and ready to embrace whatever was presented to them that night. And circumstances were that we had to drive down, do the show, and drive back. It was still a 4-ish, 3.5, 4-ish.
It kind of was
hour drive. But
it was a long drive. The
show was so worth it. Sometimes the crowd size doesn't always matter, because there may have been 125, 150 people for that show. But the energy and the presenter, the host, just everybody involved made it a really worth. The sound guy was great. Everything about it just happened easily, comfortably, and
they were listening.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound somewhat strange, maybe, but we didn't know a single person.
Wow.
In the audience, and we had a full house, which is always lovely when people take a chance on musicians and music that they are not familiar with. And playing as many gigs as I did last year in the area, I'm so thankful anytime that somebody comes to support. I'm always so thankful for that. But there was something a bit validating about going and doing a show in front of complete strangers.
Yeah.
And they really responded positively. And even afterward, we were getting messages from some of them just saying that they really enjoyed it. And so that's definitely
Hopefully they said, please
highlight.
come back too.
They did. They did.
That's important.
Yeah.
Bring more friends next time, and we'll play to 250 of you instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. How are you finding this? We were talking about how busy your schedule is, like this work-life balance thing you got.
What's that?
I don't know, because you have work, you have music, you have, I guess, stepmothering, essentially, without the official title, caring for your mom. Are you still teaching Pilates or any of those things? You got that too?
Yeah.
How? Seriously, how? How are you here?
I don't. Well,
it's important. You wanted to talk about the gig.
You have to. Time is just like any other currency, and you have to be really careful with how you spend it. And I've been trying to make time for things that still really fulfill me, even though I have a lot of responsibility on my plate. And I have days where I'm really good at balancing that, and I have days where I'm not. And I'm trying to learn to be better about saying no to things. Not because I don't want to do it, but because I have to step back and check with myself on, what is my mental load? What is my energy level? And should I really do this now? Or do I need to take a moment to rest?
I'm considering that about something I volunteer my time for right now.
Exactly.
Like, do I actually have time for that anymore?
Yeah. So, I'm only teaching 1 day a week, and it's just 2 classes. And that's because I love it. I love my clients, and that's something I'll do for the rest of my life.
Cool.
And yeah, the rest of it is a balancing act. And if I find the right equation, I'll let you know.
Thank you, because I sure could use it.
I really do. I go through phases where I feel like I have everything really well in hand, and then I go through phases where I feel burnt out and overwhelmed. And I think that's normal.
You took on something. Gosh, I'm losing track of time. Probably 2 years ago that I was really excited to see you in. The North Country Opera thing was really cool. And
Yes.
you were great in that.
Oh, thank
Tell
you.
me about your experience with that and how you got involved.
They reached out to me completely out of the blue. I didn't know that this was happening, that they were going to do this reunion, and I never would have thought that I would be asked to be a part of that, but I was. And I had to sit and think about, that's one of those things where I was like, do I really have the time for this?
Yeah.
I didn't, but it was an opportunity for me to do something different. And that felt really, really important to me. And so I worked it out.
I was really impressed.
I worked it out.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of, thoughtful conversations with, home, with work. And I was really blessed that I had people in my corner that when I told them that I had this opportunity, they were like, do it. We'll figure it out. My supervisor at work at the time, when I talked to her about this, she was like, that's really terrible timing for us, but you need to do this. We'll figure it out.
Cool.
So I feel really lucky. I wouldn't, and I should say that all the hats that I wear, I would not be able to do without the support system that I have.
Lucky.
Thanks.
That one over there.
I mean, a lot of people chiming in for that support system. So, yeah, checks and balances. Try to pick up where things need to be picked up, but some things, they're once in a lifetime. With Jay particularly, I did his Old Man in Love play. What feels like 7 or 8, 9 years ago now. Me and Judy Banker were the musical part of that. And I had been in Jay's band for 4 or 5 years with Dave Roof and Judy. And, there just comes a time when there's not going to be maybe another 3 or 4 years of availability to do certain things. And Jay was so over the moon. And he caught every performance.
He was at every show.
That's awesome.
Every single show.
That was a 2-week run, more or
Yes.
less. And he was at every one. And it certainly made me happy to see how happy he was at that last ARC show.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic.
Yeah, that's an experience that I will always cherish, and I'm glad I was able to make it work.
I don't know how easy it is to find, but I know the video of it exists. Like, I know it's out there. So if people want to try and track it down, look for it. It's worthwhile. I was in the audience for the ARC show and thoroughly enjoyed it, and then attended the movie screening.
Yeah.
We'll call it a movie.
The energy at that ARC show for North Country Opera was unreal. It was unreal. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
One of our previous conversations, must have been a Pottersfield one, you talked about maybe doing a Halloween album. Is that even in the back of your head anymore? Or has that been like, I can't do that?
Oh,
I went back to
wow.
listen. I know.
I do remember that. No, sadly.
Not enough in material to make a Halloween
I
album.
mean, I think if I could,
I know it's your
yes.
favorite
It is
season.
it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It is the Day of My People. But I think at this particular moment in my life, my focus would be on releasing a full-length album.
Good.
Yeah. That's not thematic.
No, just an album of
Just
songs.
an album of
So
songs.
far, it has a love song on it.
So far, yes.
You guys met at Herb David, correct?
We did.
Guitar teacher to teach or a student.
Yeah.
I found
Yes.
that out.
Yeah.
That was at a different time of your lives.
That was. Yeah, I trying at that time, I taught at Herb David for 13 years. And I was teaching full days, raising 2 young daughters. And I would end up with a lot of local musicians, taking lessons just to get a little better at certain specific things. So something happened that led Rochelle into my room, and
His teaching room.
Yes,
the
yes,
teaching
yes.
room. Yeah,
I assumed that.
I actually, it's interesting. I remember, I think, some of your first open mics and you talking about it.
You actually, I should have said that. So the whole reason that I ended up at that open mic in Northville was because I was taking guitar lessons from Jason, and you had to cancel. You had something going on. And I remember he was like, you should try an open mic. Just try it. Because he was front row for me saying that I really wanted to sing and play, but I was very shy about it. So the time that we would have had a guitar lesson at Herb David, I looked up an open mic that was 30 miles away from my house.
And it worked out okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And then fast forward a little bit, as Pottersfield kind of started to take off, I played on their record. Did a few gigs here and there, not that many with you I was available for, but it was really cool to see that ride. And we were friends. We both had our lives and our partners, and friendship is a wonderful thing if it's genuine. Because I don't know how many years it was. I won't get into detail, but when I went through a divorce, and I was touring constantly, and so I ended up dating a few female musicians, which
I like that tone.
It it was what it was, but as friends, Rochelle and I would meet for coffee, and her poor ears had to listen to all of my sob stories
hear all the stories
about how the dating thing was going.
You knew what you were getting into.
But years of that, I mean, it was great to have a friend you can confide in about certain things. And we were friends for many years until other things.
Are we still friends?
Surprisingly, yes.
We were,
okay,
yeah.
Great.
I love how the commonality of started off not a couple, became a couple that you have with Chris and Kylie,
Yes.
who I love them together.
Yes.
I mean, actually DJ'd Kylie's first wedding, so I've been part of her life for a long time. And when the two of them got together, I saw a different Kylie, and I saw her come out and be the person that I've been waiting for her to be since I met her in high school, when she was in high school, not me. And it was just you guys as an example of a loving couple, and them as well, the way they look at each other. You talk about Jen and Eric Janetsky and Cass, another couple. I just look at it and I go, clearly, this is meant to be. And I see that with you guys too.
Well, thank you.
So before we talk about Jason's life, how about another Rochelle song to get people to your March 1st
sure.
show?
What shall we do?
Did you want to do that Dory Freeman tune?
Sure.
We just love to play it so much.
Yeah, let's do something
Somebody else's song?
that we can sing together.
Is that okay?
Is that
You
all
do
right?
what you want. Yeah, tell me what it is. So when I identify it later, I know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And it's written by who?
This is a Dory Freeman tune called "If I Could Make You My Own," and I brought this to Jason, and I was like, "Oh, this song, I can't get it out of my head," and I wanted to turn it into a duet because we needed more material where we were singing together, and so this has become one of our favorites, and Jason gets to play mandolin on it. So yeah, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. I would give you my heart and my pride. I would give you the red from my side. I would promise to love and abide if I could make you my own. And I would keep you away from all harm. I'll shelter you from all alarm. I delight in the glow of your charm if I could make you my own. All the rivers and seas may turn, all the flowers and leaves may turn. I need never to grieve and yearn if I could make you my own. And I would lay down my soul at your feet. I need never to drink or to eat. I would know not the smallest defeat if I could make you my own. And I would weather the wind and the rain. I'd shoulder your
your trouble and pain. I would give you the blood from my vein if I could make you my own. All the rivers and seas may turn, all the flowers and leaves may turn. I need never to grieve and yearn if I could make you my own. Declare from valley to sky, I would shout to the heavens on high. I would whisper not once said goodbye if I can make you my own. Oh, if I can make you my own. All the rivers and seas may churn, all the flowers and leaves may turn. I need never to grieve and yearn if I could make you my own. And all the rivers and seas may turn, all the flowers and leaves may turn. And I need never to grieve and yearn if I could make you my own. Oh, if I could make you my own.
Very cool. I do not know that song, but now I do. And
Now
I
you
see
do.
why it's stuck in your head.
Yes.
Super catchy.
Yes, it's super catchy.
Lovely, lovely.
And it's fun to sing with him.
That is a fun one.
We are here in Grove Studios. Rochelle Clark, Jason Dennie. Rochelle's got a gig on March 1st at the Arc in Ann Arbor. And Grove Studios has made this podcast possible. Without them, I never would have started this thing. Even when I was approached, I basically said, the world doesn't need another music podcast. But at the time, I had just lost my job where I got to do interviews pretty regularly. So when they invited me in to see the space and invited me to do a podcast down the hall, and I brought in Chris DuPont for the first podcast, I realized that this was something that I needed, and I hope that other people would enjoy it as much. And they've continued to support me and make it possible for me to do this here.
That's
so
fantastic.
GroveStudios.space. If you're a musician, if you're a DJ, if you're a podcaster, this is a spot where you can come and do your thing. Their motto is get out of the garage, you get into the studio. I know you guys live very nearby, but I don't know, A, who's in the familiars. We should ask that question.
Yeah.
And B, where do you practice? You could use this space. It's available 24/7, you know.
I actually was thinking that when we arrived,
Yeah.
that this could be a really great space.
It's exactly for that.
For a band rehearsal, especially if we're, because we often rehearse in our dining room.
Well,
we move our table into the living room and set up in the dining room. We actually have rehearsal tomorrow night for the
there you
Arc.
go. Well,
yes.
This is the largest of the 5 rooms. There's a room that's half the size. We're kind of
And
standing
there's
in the
already
middle.
a drum kit.
There's already a
set
drum
up.
kit, which I hear the snare kind of vibrating a little bit, which I've never heard before, and I thought I could adjust it, but I've made it worse. So I left it alone.
It's ambiance.
Yes. So if you're interested, and I'll give you the website again, grovestudios.space. That's what it's called. So without them, there's no podcast. We don't get to 100 without Grove. So grateful for them.
That's amazing.
All right. Who's in the familiars because I know Jason is. Who else
Well,
is in
I
the
guess
familiars?
I'm going to let Jason play with us.
You should. And who's opening? Is there somebody opening?
Yes. So Lauren Blackford is going to be opening. Okay. She's a singer-songwriter from Milan, and I have known her for a couple of years now. And when I was going back and forth whether or not I wanted an opener for the show, and I kept coming back to that I wanted Lauren on the bill, and I was really happy that she said yes.
Good.
And I know people are really going to love her. So she'll start the night, and then it'll be a full band show. So myself, Jason Dennie, and you made the cut
Because he's cute. That's
He's
probably
cute.
why. Yeah.
And then John Sperendi
Oh.
on bass, Keith Billick
Oh.
on banjo,
But
and Brian Williams on
Jeez, oh,
drums.
Pete.
It's gonna
That's a killer band.
It's a killer band. And, you know, I am the weak link in that.
Come on, you have the voice.
Well, yes, but they elevate everything. And, you know, when we're playing together, even in rehearsal, Jason can tell you I sometimes get a little distracted because I'm like, this is my song and it sounds so good when these guys are playing it.
That is an amazing group.
We don't get to play together as often as I would love for us to be able to. So this will also be a real treat.
I think when you're doing your Facebook posts in the next couple of weeks, make sure you tell people who's in the band too, because that might make people go, oh wow, yeah, good stuff.
Yes.
Well, thank you for talking about your life, and even though he interjected a bunch during your story,
well, that's all right.
You're allowed to interject during his.
Thanks.
Jason has a gig of his own, and it's rare that it's headlining Jason, because usually you're with other people or part of one of your projects. But March 6th, Trinity House has got you as a headliner.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to. I invest so much in the people that I play with because I do love being part of an ensemble. Mm-hmm. You know, I did solo touring for a few years before I moved to Michigan, and you know, I can do my own thing. I have no problem with that. But you can't harmonize with yourself without gimmickry.
Without a computer, yeah.
Without, you know, and I never wanted to be, you know, I don't do looping and all that kind of thing just because it doesn't work for me. The bluegrass aesthetic has been strong in my background. But it's so easy to get wrapped up in a band. I love to write for a band. I love to arrange, and I love to write for harmonies and things like that. So every time I get into a project, my material is getting used a lot. And if it's not that, then, you know, I've been with Annie and Rod Capps for almost 19 years now. And we just released another record, I think 7 or 8 now that I've been on. But I get to really be a part of some of that arranging and creative process with that music. And so I'm incredibly invested in it. And I don't mind, you know, being a sideman. It's my job, really. But I did realize a couple years ago, I think last year and the year before, you know, certain folks know me as a mandolin player and a harmony singer. So a couple of things would happen, and someone would say, "I didn't know you played guitar."
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, because that's how I met you.
It's yes.
It you know, the guitar is a huge piece of my musical makeup for sure. But all these years playing mandolin with Jill Jack and Billy Brandt and Dave Boutette and Crispy Hallis and Rochelle and Annie and Rod and everyone else, I mean, I love that instrument. It gives me an opportunity to play with other musicians I admire and also singing with singers I admire. I love singing with Annie, and I love singing with Rochelle. But the solo thing, what I've realized is that there are certain songs I don't want to have them die. I don't want to have them just kind of fade away, because I'll be honest, a lot of my instrumental material from the records I've done, you know, that music was in the 90s for me so much. And I can't play my first and second record. I mean, not as the musician I am now. They would be different. Oh. So musical personalities and whatnot, material changing through the years, different perspectives. The older I get, the more restrained and intentional I get. But I've realized I miss playing guitar, and I miss some of the songs that I've written over the years, or songs I've just chosen to do for myself because I just love certain songs. You know, we do things, we get connected to things because we get moved by them. And sometimes my bands or my projects, they don't get moved by them. So, you know, that stuff adds up through the years, and I'm going to find ways to sing those songs just because I want to. So getting back to this year, doing a couple solo shows. They won't be entirely solo, but I'll have Andy Wilson with me at Trinity House on March 6th. and just love his energy and playing. So, again, still finding my songs, but getting some players that I really admire and keeping it intimate, though, so that the strength of what I do on my own still is pretty much the focal piece. Just necessity, in a way. Getting back to myself, I guess. There's a lot of things I can relate to her perspective and making decisions that are the right things for you. And I think this year and some of the material that I've been working on and writing and other things I've been visiting, it's time to get back to some of those solo shows and not worry so much about, the big band kind of thing. It's just every project is different, and there's things I get to do that are I wouldn't get to do otherwise. So.
And I'm excited for him to do more solo shows because I think the world needs more Jason Dennie music in it, and
there's a lot of great stuff, a lot of great young artists that are.
Take the compliment.
Well, thank you. It's easy to get overlooked or to feel overlooked, and things these days are just so wow, splash, bam, pow. And I'm not that. I am not that. I am sitting on the front porch, just low key, simple songs, and but I like that place. So
I think there's room.
Maybe there's room for that.
There's room for all of it, right?
You probably remember, because we talked about it once or twice when you visited me at the station in Ann Arbor, that 5 Points was played all the time. I used it as my opening theme for my Sunday show, and it was also the music bed for the promo that played all week long. So
yeah.
You never played it live. I'm not asking you to play it now. I'm just saying that to me, people would actually know that song from having heard it so often, not necessarily knowing the name of it because they just heard it as me talking over it most of the time. But yeah. I'm not going to pat myself on the back because it hurts, but it's kind of a hit in its own little way because people heard it all the time.
Yeah.
If you played it, they'd be like, I know this song.
It's interesting. I've done 3 solo guitar records, so there's a piece off of every record that has ended up being used for something.
Yeah.
Some documentary work, or there was a documentary on a comedy special, an Irish comedian, and they used "Runaway Horse" as the closing credits.
I love that song.
It's cool to have that stuff still kind of get out there and present itself, and I will still play some of those tunes, but I'm actually in the process of trying to re-envision a few things. I've got some work coming up with Grant Flick, who's an incredible fiddle player, nickel harpa player, tenor guitar player, and we're starting to do some duo gigs, and I'm wanting to dig back into some of that material and kind of revisit it with that kind of foil. I could take him anywhere. He can do anything. So it makes me rethink some of that material through today's lens. 5 Points, oddly enough, is one that I never really played live, ever.
It spoke to me.
Really?
Ever.
It spoke to me in a way that I felt like this is the perfect bed for what I'm doing. I'm going to play this.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm certainly thankful. It's.
I don't know if you ever got royalties from that, but I hope you did. I don't know.
It's hard to say how the business works on that end, but it was also cool to I had Sam Bush on mandolin for 2 of the cuts on that record, and that was one of the ones with Sam on it. So it was always nice to get to hear that and be reminded of some cool things. It's 26 years ago now that record was done, so it's nice to look back on and things to be proud of, I guess. Longevity to some degree. Well,
we're going to talk about your life, but we've talked already a lot, so let's have you sing a song.
All right.
March 6th, Trinity House. What are you going to start with your 2 songs?
This is going to be this is one called Simply Perfect Day. Kind of started off as just the idea of what makes a perfect day, and sometimes it's not the grandiose, the big things. It's sometimes those really simple things. But we'll see how this goes. Early morning rises, the day has just begun. Breakfast on the table, coffee's almost done. He smiles across the table, she sends it back his way. As long as they're together, it's a simply perfect day. They didn't have much money when they started, didn't have much use for fancy dreams. Happy just to be each other's friend and family, until the day that one of them has departed. Middle of a moment, like a songbird caught in flight. Children all around them, running day and night. She smiles across the ballpark, he sends it back away. As long as they're together, it's a simply perfect day. They didn't have much money when they started, didn't have much use for fancy dreams. Happy just to be each other's friend and family, until the day that one of them has departed. Evening settles quiet, shadows heavy in the trees. Her stone is gray and silent, the earth soft beneath his knees. He smiles to the heavens, feels her smiling back his way. As long as they're together, it's a simply perfect day. They didn't have much money when they started, didn't have much use for fancy dreams. Happy to have been each other's family and friends. Now the day has come that one of them has departed.
It's a track from Jason Dennie on Acoustic Alternatives at Grove Studios. Simply Perfect Day. Jason's got a gig at the Trinity House in Livonia March 6th. One of the main reasons we've decided to invite both of you in is you've got some big gigs coming. Not big gigs, but gigs that we want people to know about. And it's about damn time I have both of you in anyway. Yeah. So separately or together, I'm happy to have you. Now, Jason, I know Cincinnati was your hometown area. Cincinnati proper, or did you grow up in a suburb?
I grew up in Mason,
Okay.
Mason, Ohio. So if anyone's familiar with Kings Island,
That's right. That's where that is.
that's where Mason was.
Did you spend a lot of time at Kings Island, or just?
I did. I worked a couple summers at Kings Island. I spent a short stint as a quick draw McGraw. But I worked also at the beach water park, which was within a mile of Kings Island. And then I ended up working at the Jack Nicklaus golf course for what ended up being like 6 years, which was right across the street from Kings Island. So definitely embedded in that area. I started playing. I literally started playing guitar at 19. And I think my first record came out, I was 23. And so I was working 7 days a week, not 7 days, 5 days a week, and then ATP tennis championship and golf tournaments and things like that. I would end up working good 7 to 8, 9 hour or 9-day stints. And it was difficult to do the gigging thing and that. And within a short time, it started to become playing Wednesday through Sunday. And then I was only working Monday through Wednesday. And then I just said goodbye to the work and never looked back.
Haven't held a day job since.
Other than teaching music, no. You know, it's all music.
That's awesome.
Which is difficult.
Yeah, I've known you for a while. We've had that discussion.
Yeah, I wouldn't have chosen it necessarily, knowing what it could be like. But, you know, I've experienced some pitfalls. The business has kicked my butt a couple times. And so it's led me to work more towards the region and staying home. I don't mind being a local act, whereas maybe 20, 25 years ago it would have been offensive. But now it's like it's a badge of honor to some degree to enjoy getting to work in town. But again, I'm a sideman with tons of songwriters. But that just speaks to the wealth of what we have here at home. And I love not having to leave the state of Michigan or the region. So, you know, do get to Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and top to bottom of Michigan. And that's been the region, what feels like, for about the past 7 or 8 years. And I'm more than comfortable with that. I don't have any aspirations of getting back out on tour. My 50 back can't take that kind of driving and touring anymore. So I love being embedded at home. You know, what could be better?
It was 1998 the first time I saw you. It was an ARC show opening for Over the Rhine, and I think that was one of the reasons you ended up moving to Ann Arbor, or the area, was it not?
It was. You know, the first time we came through, we played at the Blind Pig, and I did a couple tours with them, and it was interesting to have like 15 to 20 people sitting on that sticky floor at the Blind Pig.
Gross, yeah.
And I was doing all solo guitar music in those years and no singing. But these people were sticking to the floor. And everyone said, "You're in the wrong place."
They're still there.
They're still stuck there, yes.
Yeah, probably.
I remember, because I had been reading about the ARC, being a fan of solo guitar players and bluegrass and roots music and just singer-songwriters. Anyone worth their weight was going to the ARC. So I had been familiar with it before we came. And then doing the show was great. Now, of course, you know, Linford, they wanted me to do full 45-minute opening sets. And as you know, at the ARC, that was not the norm.
25, maybe 30.
So, you know, right off the bat, I've got Dave Siglin, you know, I don't normally like guitar players unless you're Leo Kottke or Michael Hedges,
right.
But you did all right. I mean, I sold just under like 120 CDs.
Oh, wow. I think I bought them.
and was well received at that show. And my ex-wife, she's from Troy, Michigan, and I lost the battle to move to Nashville. That's where I was headed. But she wanted to be closer to family, and at the time, it didn't matter where I lived. I could still perform in the region that I was playing in. So I decided I could do Ann Arbor based on what the ARC was, that experience, and just the history of the art and the music that comes through. I'm like, I could easily find myself living here. And as soon as we moved to Ann Arbor, started teaching right away and raising kids. So sideman work and studio work and teaching pretty much took the focus for a few years until I could get back to getting out and performing more.
Back in your Cincinnati days, you sang with Noah Hunt for quite a while, and then he ended up hooking up with Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and then later you did a record together, which was kind of a good full circle thing.
Yeah, our first record was in '95. We were a duo. You know, he had a band called Uncle Six, and I was a solo artist, and we were both on the same record label, an upstart in Cincy. And it just happened to be this weird chance that a mutual friend of ours was like, his guitar playing and his voice, and just, he had to get us together once. And he put Noah and I together in a living room. And I think we were there for 3 hours or more, just playing. And it was interesting that what we did as a duo could never compete with what his band was killer. Uncle Six was a great band. But the availability and affordability and just the two of us jumping in a car, and we had some months where we're literally gigging Wednesday through Sunday, just the two of us. Not his band, not me doing my thing. It just, you never know what kinds of pairings are going to bring to you. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. It's not just like good this and good that, and it's going to be great. It doesn't work that way. But we hit on something that was pretty special. At the time, he couldn't turn down the opportunity to sing with Kenny Wayne Shepherd. There was a photographer that was really well known for taking some of the most iconic photos of Buddy Guy and Eric Clapton and Stevie Ray Vaughan. And he was from Cincinnati, and he would come see us Sunday nights at Tommy's on Main in downtown Cincy. And his photography work led him into the universe of Kenny Wayne Shepherd. And the second he heard they were looking for a singer, he was like, you've got to try this guy out. So he went down and tried out against, I think, close to 30 other singers. And he got the spot. You know, it was hard to watch our thing end, but very quickly, in 97, they had Billboard Song of the Year, Blue on Black. And I got to experience so many things through his experience that I'm entirely grateful for. And then we managed to come back together in 2009 and do another record. I just saw Noah a couple weeks ago. I had to go back to Cincinnati for some family reasons, and was lucky enough to catch him before he hit a cruise with Kenny Wayne. But there's a spark that's still there, and there's songs that are still there. So we'll be playing again. It's nice to kind of go away from it and come back to it, and never at that same level, but it's great to realize that some things have staying power, and you need to visit them if you can. I'm not the same player I was in the 90s, but we still somehow managed to find this groove together. And we do a lot more singing together now, which we didn't do as much of back in those days. But
well, when I met you, you didn't sing at all. The first time I heard you sing, I was like, what? What is that?
Where's that been hiding?
It's I don't think you can sing until you're really owned and inspired by a song, a message, or a lyric, whatever it is. And then once you start and you realize the strength in it and the power in it, even if you're horrible at it, but the power
present,
there's just something in the expression that it doesn't have to be perfect. That's another thing. The older I get, I realize perfection is ridiculous. It's if you're a constant pursuit of one thing, it's possible. But if you're a student of life, just do the best you can. Yeah. And singing, it really gets the body and the heart and the mind moving in ways that nothing else does. So I feel bad that I missed out on that for so many years. But I'm not going to make that mistake anymore. And I'd rather sing a simple 3-chord tune than some of the most elaborate guitar work I do. It's just, I don't know, it just feels good.
Well, acoustic guitar, primary instrument, but you have played electric on other people's projects. Do you have like acoustic heroes and electric heroes when it comes to guitar players? Oh,
absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's... growing up in a bluegrass family, Tony Rice looms large. I was listening to Tony before I really had any concept of what was going on. So tone, period, and phrasing and just feel. I think I'm always thinking of him. I don't play like him, but the nuance is hard to forget. The fingerstyle stuff, I was captured many years by Alex DeGrassi and Michael Hedges and Preston Reed, Peppino D'Agostino, Pierre Ben Suzanne. I mean, I got to play with a lot of these guys.
They were on Windham Hill. A lot of those folks are the subsidiary labels. They had that sound.
Yeah, I had a brief run-in with Will Ackerman when he was already with Imaginary Road, and there was a song off my second record, Little Big Man, that he really, really enjoyed, and but he could do nothing with because he had just signed Rob Eberhard Young, who was another Hedges energy-inspired kind of player, and it was just a chance encounter, and to know that some of that music made the ears of, in my mind, I'm like, oh my, he's Windham Hill. Yeah. That's huge to me. But I love those records still. I love texture and mood, and there doesn't have to be words there to do that. But I also love the word. So I'm kind of caught in the middle of all of it. I love both. I love all of it.
What about electric guitar?
Electric guitar players, it's hard to forget Stevie Ray Vaughan.
It was pretty great.
Just the power, the veracity. But I also love a lot of country players, Brent Mason and Brad Paisley. I say what you will, some folks give me a hard time, but he's a killer guitar player and a great writer, great singer. The chicken picking stuff, Chet Atkins, Merle Travis, all the usual suspects. I mean, there's so many modern players, it's hard to fathom, but the players that all these modern guys have been inspired by, I'm still going back to them. There's too many.
We've spent a lot of time. I mean, we love the band U2. And
new album out today, or new EP out today. Did you know that?
Oh, really? No, I didn't.
Very politically oriented about what's happening in the world, not just America, but
kind of back to their roots. I love that.
Yeah.
But some of those sounds and textures, we've talked about a lot with that band in particular, and I don't know if people would necessarily make that connection with you.
No, I would not.
As like being a huge fan of U2.
Yeah.
I am too.
I remember in high school, I mean, I got in so much trouble. I skipped school for like 2 days to see Rattle and Hum, and then go see U2 in Cleveland from Cincinnati. The film I felt, that may have been a little bit later, but that music just, it's hard to describe a perfect combination of things. Not an amazing guitar player, not an amazing bass player necessarily, but the sum of the parts is indescribable, and no one sounds like that. We wouldn't have Kings of Leon without U2. I'm sorry, we just wouldn't.
You're right.
There's a couple of other bands that have that influence that are huge, but the mixture of acoustic instrument and elements and electric elements, and those lyrics. I was paying attention to some of the words, and Bono's voice. I mean, there was an earnestness there in his younger days, going for the notes even if he hadn't hit them yet. You know what I mean? Just singing from the heels up through the top of his head. And at that young age, and it being a little shaky to some degree until he got control of it, which you can see in some of the video footage now that we always have to look at. But seeing the Joshua Tree reunion tour a couple years back, we went and saw them in Detroit, and Bono did not miss a note. He's still in the same range, and there's just something about that music that still gets to me, because it reminds me of a time in my life when I wasn't making music. I didn't play an instrument yet, but those sounds really stuck in my head. And even though I don't play anything remotely similar, there are, as a side player and as a studio player, there's something about textures and disappearing within a track, that there are elements to U2's, some of their best known stuff. There are just certain little deceptive, complicated things, though, that just kind of disappear in the track. If you take it away, it changes everything. But that was something I loved about that band.
I love the vocal performance on the version of Bad on Under a Blood Red Sky. He just nails, like, the emotion in that is just like, it gets me every time.
Yeah, I mean, those are some of my favorite. Those things send chills up your spine. How can you not be moved by that?
God, I don't know. Well, I was listening to old interviews we did, and we did quite a few of them back in the day. I think at least 4 at WHFR in general. One of them was from 2005, and I grabbed a quote. Maeve loves the sound of the mandolin. That was 2005.
Oh, she was just a baby.
She was just a baby.
She was just a baby. And I don't know when you picked up the mandolin.
I had fiddled with it just a little bit here and there in late 90s. A good friend of mine who's now back in Cincy, Paul Dugan, he's a mandolin player. And we were in a band together in the mid-90s. He played mandolin. I was an acoustic lead player in that a Grateful Dead project. But when I moved to Michigan, I started playing with David Mosier. We did some like brother-style duet stuff for a few years. And it was one of those things that there are a lot of great guitar players in town. Wasn't going to compete with that. And there were not many mandolin tenor singers in town. So, I had 2 little ones at home. At first just Shay, but I could wear the mandolin around the house.
Like easy. Yeah.
It's just tiny. I could make my mac and cheese, while she's crawling on the floor. And it's
That's a cute thought.
I just taught myself. And again, I'd grown up with my grandparents were in a bluegrass gospel quartet. And so just the sound of those instruments together, there's elements that I know what sounds right, and I love to play other stuff as well. But it just it felt natural to some degree, and so literally probably really dove in probably around 2003 or 2004, because I just started getting more work with it. And Maeve, when she was young, she did like the sound of the instrument, just a little bit higher pitched and whatnot, but they could also just reach up and strum the strings.
Yeah. You and I saw my mandolin hero together at one point. Probably the same for you as far as a modern player goes, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up really fast. I loved, Ricky Skaggs and, of course, Mike Compton, Bill Monroe, Adam Steffi with Alison Krauss. I was familiar with Nickel Creek, but I got to see them live at the same festival, Polk City Festival, or it was Polk City, Florida, Wings and Strings Festival. And that was the first time seeing him live and getting to hear that 15 feet away. And man, that's just another planet. Him and Sierra Hall are 2 of the cleanest, period. But he's in a world of his own, for sure.
I still think if I ever find spare time, and we know that we don't have spare time right now, that I will take mandolin lessons someday from you. I don't know when that's going to be, but someday.
It's so much fun. I mean, I play more folk and contemporary singer-songwriter material on the mando these days, and there's so much room for it. I can't do the bluegrass thing with a lot of the artists that I play with. And I love both facets of the instrument. You can be real traditional with it, or you can be quite modern with it. And I think it has a place in all kinds of music. It doesn't have to be, oh, shucks and overalls, that some people kind of expect it to be. But
right.
It's a fun instrument. You should take lessons.
March 6th, Jason Denny's at Trinity House Theater in Livonia. Want to do one more song?
Yeah. And I want to sing together. So let's, what about Honey?
All right, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is speaking of fathers. I won't get into the story, but he was always looking for wife number 3, and he never found her. This was written when he was alive, and there could be a slight chuckle to it, but some things that he did as he left this world have cemented this song in stone. So this will be one that will never fade away. It's called A Honey Hangover. Thought I finally found me a true love on a cloud so high I can't come down. Found I was wrong and the fall was quite long. The girl's no longer around. I picked myself up, brushed it all off, went out to find sympathy. It came in the shape of a bottle, lying naked and empty by me. Always drink from that same lovely bottle, Sunday to Saturday ride, ending the same love's painful game. Can't stop drinking that trouble inside, a Sunday to Saturday ride. So pretty when we meet at my favorite bar. Always believe this time she won't leave. Love that we share will go far. But the morning dawns a little sooner than my head and my heart will allow. The pain is so clear when nobody's near. Got a honey hangover now. Always drank from that same lovely bottle, Sunday to Saturday ride, ending the same love's painful game. Can't stop drinking that trouble inside, a Sunday to Saturday ride.
Jason Dennie with some help from Rochelle Clark on Honey Hangover on Acoustic Alternatives from Grove Studios. It has been an absolute pleasure to visit with both of you today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been
I'm
too long.
sorry it took so long.
Well, no, it's worth the wait. And it's we have a good reason to visit today. We visited to talk about some pretty important things happening. So it makes sense. All right. So people can still take guitar and or mandolin lessons from you, Jason?
Yes.
How do they contact you? JasonDennie.com?
I would say, go to the website, jasondennie.com, and then you should be able to send a message through the site to get to me. I'm also easy to find on Facebook.
And on stage, because you've got a bunch of projects.
And on stage locally quite a bit, yeah.
Wilson Thicket's still active, right?
Wilson Thicket, yeah. You know, those guys, we've got basically like one big show a month. We're already booking into November. That between that and Annie and Rod, schedule's getting pretty full. But I wanted to say that we have also a weekend of Rochelle Clark and the Familiars, I believe in May.
In May, yeah.
Oh.
For this folks that might be out in the Ferndale area, or I can't remember where one of the shows is.
So we'll be May 16th at North Star in
nice.
Ann Arbor.
Nice.
And then May 17th, we'll open up the gazebo in Ferndale.
I've heard of
that,
and have
that
not been
concert
to yet.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you should come out on May 17th.
Well, that might be better.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll
I'm
be
going to
fun.
come to the Arc, but because I love the Arc. But and
Yeah, definitely come to the Arc, but it's just nice to get some momentum with that project.
Yes, for
and
sure.
we'll at least have a couple nights in a row, and hopefully it just makes everyone want to do it more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how can people find out about your stuff?
So RochellePClark.com.
As we mentioned.
Yeah. And I'm pretty active on my Instagram, which is just Rochelle Clark Music. I'm posting a lot on there about upcoming shows, and you can find me on Facebook as well. So
Publicly thanking you in this podcast again for something that you did in probably the worst time of my life. During the pandemic, when I lost my job and a concert was put together that I could invite whoever I wanted to, but it had to be a small crowd at my friend Kathy and Dan's house. And we just lost Dan, and you were behind that, and Kathy was behind that, and it made a huge difference to me.
I'm glad.
So
I'm glad.
Thank you for being
And
in
I'm
my
glad
life.
you're on the other side of that.
I'm on the other side of that. Thank you for both being friends all these years to me. And I really appreciate you. And I'm so happy that you got these gigs coming up. This is great.
Thank you. Me too.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks to Grove Studios, grovestudios.space, the website for booking this space for your needs, whether you want to do a podcast. You don't have to stand like I am if you're watching the video. You can go sit over at that table that I'm pointing to. You can't see in the video. You can go to some of the older videos because I have been sitting at that table, or you can see what it looked like down the hall if you go back to the early ones. We are approaching number 100, so that is something to be celebrated very soon. Keep an eye on johnbommarito.com. That's where everything ends up, whether it's the podcast, all the links are there, whether it's the radio show, also called Acoustic Alternatives, whether it's the thing I do on Sonic Coast where these songs will end up in the 3 o'clock hour. All of the things are there at johnbommarito.com. And again, to Grove Studios, thank you so much for making it possible.